Alright, it's Thursday again. You know what that means, guys. It's NFL Week 5 this week, which means I'm going to give you my Week 5 predictions. I want to know, how's your favorite team doing this year? Obviously, I'm the Kansas City Chiefs right here. My team is doing great. It doesn't matter how many of you suckers, losers, criers. "Oh, tell me it's the Reds." No, it's not. Come on, man. We're just that good of a team. Sure, a couple flags are bad, but if you watch any NFL game, the flags are bad in all of those games. That's all it is. But, just because it's the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl champions, people are just going to complain about the flags. I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting off on a rant, but how's your team doing? I'm doing great. Go ahead and tell me down below, what is your predictions for Week 5? How's your fantasy team doing? I'm 2-2. I was 1-2, and I won last week by half a point. I won by half a point because Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce gave me nothing, and Kenneth Walker had a rough day. And if Kenneth Walker did amazing, I would have destroyed him, but he had a rough day. So anyways, without further ado, subscribe, and thanks for doing all that. And with that said, we're going to get started with tonight's game, the Bears and the Commanders. Do I even have to talk about this game? Do I have to talk about this game for this video to be good? I mean, come on. It's the Bears. The Bears will win this game. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Because the Bears are garbage. The Bears are the worst NFL team to step into the league. They might even go to the XFL. That's how bad they are. I don't actually think they're going to do that, but they should because they're horrendous. They're a horrendous team. They lost to the Broncos after having 28-7 lead. They blew a lead before that. Then they keep getting destroyed. They got destroyed by the Chiefs. They get destroyed by all their other teams. And it's just not even entertaining to watch them because they're a good football team, but they just blow the leads every single time. The Commanders, or should I call them the Redskins? I don't really know if I should call them the Commanders or the Redskins anymore. Anyways, the Redskins, that's what I'm going to call them. The Redskins, they're pretty good team. They had one bad week against the Bills, but they held their own against the 4-0 Eagles, and it's really hard to hold your own in the NFL. So, I mean, against a top team like that. And so they held their own. They had a couple good weeks before that. I think the Commanders are a real contender for a playoff spot. They're not going to win the Super Bowl, but keep rebuilding the squad, and I think they have a real potential to be a great squad. And it's going to be a slaughter. It's flat out going to be a slaughter. The Bears might have a good first half, but then they're not going to score again in the second half. And the Commanders are going to do touchdown, and get it'll probably be like 45-2 at this point, probably 45-7. I don't really do scores here, but if I had to predict the score, that's how bad this game is going to be. Sunday morning game in London again. The Jags are going to London again to face the Buffalo Bills. And Jags looked pretty good last week. I really do think. I was really betting on the Falcons. I watched the game, and it looked like classic Falcons. You know me, I don't like watching the Falcons because they're not that entertaining of a sports team for me. But earlier in the year, they started to look good. Last week, they did not look good against the Jags. And the Jags absolutely slaughtered them. They're going up against the Bills. And I'm infamous for saying the past couple of weeks, I don't think that the big three AFC is all that good. The Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Bills. My thoughts still hold about the Bengals. The Chiefs, honestly, they do have kind of a cushion schedule this year. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. But they struggled against the Jets. They have a lot of problems there. The Bills have really just been proving me wrong. Especially last week against the Dolphins. I thought last week that the Bills were only winning because it was against the Commanders and the Vegas Raiders. When really, they go in there to the Dolphins and they pretty much kill the Dolphins. They prove that they're a sports team to contend with and kind of doubt all my worries. All my worries are gone. I'm 100,000% going for the Bills in this one. They're going to slaughter Jacksonville. Even though Jacksonville's a solid team, they're not as good as the Bills. The Bills are going to have a massive season. They're easily probably going to win the AFC this year. Either that or the Chiefs. I'm very excited to see what will happen in this game. But the Bills are going to be massive and have a massive win. Texans and the Falcons, and this one is going to be a good game. I genuinely just said that the Falcons last week was not that entertaining to watch. The Texans last week were highly entertaining to watch. Another thing that I've said in the past that I'm wrong about, I said C.J. Stroud will be a good quarterback, but this will not be his year. These last two games, C.J. Stroud has been looking phenomenal. C.J. Stroud looks like an NFL quarterback. And that's good because he looks on par with Anthony Richardson to give Anthony Richardson a run for his money. I want them to play again because that will be a great game. They're playing the Falcons this week. Desmond Ridder had a rough game. Bijan had a good game, but besides that, the offense really was failing. The defense did solid, but the Texans, they've been looking really good. Nico Collins, Tank Dell, like I said, C.J. Stroud has also been having a pretty great season thus far. And so, I mean, what kind of an idiot would I be if I take the if I take the Atlanta Falcons over the Texans? Because the Falcons, last couple of weeks, haven't looked all that good. They're really losing their steam from the first 2 weeks. So I'm going Houston Texans to win this one. The Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions. Detroit pulled an upset last week. It wasn't really an upset. I bet on the Lions. But the Lions are a team to be reckoned with. The Lions are a team that I'm sitting down and I'm watching them play. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, this Lions team, that's a good football team. They played great football last Thursday against the Packers. They've had a full week off, week and a half. And so now they're going in against the 0-4 Panthers. And the 0-4 Panthers kind of, they're really not good. I will hold what I said. Bryce Young will be a good NFL quarterback, but this is not his year. He does some things that really quirk me, like I said. It's like he doesn't have no hustle. He just gets back in the pocket and just throws it. And I think that's one of their problems is that they're just kind of a lazy team. They're not doing all that great this year. And being 0-4, playing a great 3-1 Lions team with a Jared Goff that's good, a Jahmyr Gibbs that's solid enough, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I got in a trade, whoop, whoop, I'm going to be a great team now. Amon-Ra St. Brown, everybody else on the team, I think they're a solid team, and I do not think they're going to lose. The Lions are going to be 4-1, which is going to be a great start to their season. And unfortunately, the Panthers are going to be 0-5. Titans and the Colts, and this one's a confusing one for me because, for one, Tennessee is my least favorite NFL team. It's very infamous. I despise the Titans. The Colts is a team I'm rooting for this year because of Anthony Richardson. But they're both 2-2. I'm going Colts to win this one only because of how good they've been. They came back and tied it and went to overtime against the Rams. They were down, I think it was 20-0. And they came back in overtime and lost the game. They lost the game in overtime, I think by a field goal. It takes a good football team to come back 20 points without their defense allowing one. Meanwhile, Tennessee slaughtered the Bengals. I haven't really been following Tennessee. I don't know who they've won and lost against. So I think I'm going Colts on this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee came out and won. I really want the Colts to win, though, because I despise the Titans. The Giants and the Dolphins. Do we even have to talk about this game? The Dolphins slaughter. 11 times. 11 times. Daniel Jones got sacked on Monday. 11 times. That is crazy. Crazy. The offensive line sucks. The defense sucks. The offense is miserable this year. They had one comeback against the Cardinals. And that's it. They're not going to have a comeback against the Dolphins. They're not going to have a comeback against anybody because they suck. They are the worst team in the NFL besides the Panthers and the Bears. They are absolutely horrendous to watch. And so I think that the Dolphins, who are the top 3 NFL team right now, and yes, I said top 3, I get it. Oh, you're losing against the Bills. Yeah, it's the Bills. Of course they're going to lose. The Dolphins, who are a top 3 team right now, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Tua Tagovailoa, the great defense, they are going to absolutely take out all their anger after last week and slaughter the Giants. Slaughter them. And I'm all here for it. The Saints and the Patriots. The Patriots suck. The Patriots suck. They are the most miserable team, I think, in the NFL. And, well, besides the Giants. The Giants are the most disappointing, and then it goes Patriots. Because the Patriots, they have a great defense. Matthew Judon, so many other players. They have a good offense. Jacoby Myers. Mac Jones, if he wants to be good. They just can't work as a team. And they got destroyed against the Cowboys. They barely beat the Jets. They lost against the Dolphins. They lost against the Eagles. They do have a rough schedule, but the Patriots, they're just not working together as a team. They are the heartbreak team of the year for me. While the Saints, even though their offense has been struggling the past couple of weeks, I don't see the Saints losing against this New England team. I don't see New England doing good the rest of the year. I would be happy if they won a game, but Derek Carr, I think, is going to take his Saints offense. They really needed some practice, and now I think they're going to walk all over New England, because New England, Bill Belichick's got to be pretty much done with Mac Jones. He's not a good quarterback. He's not leading their team to the league, and it's very disappointing to watch that. Ravens Steelers, the last noon game. The Steelers are a good team. They got killed against the Niners, and they pretty much got killed against Houston, but they played good football the middle two games. It's the Ravens, though. The Ravens are a great team. They're a contender, not for the Super Bowl, but for the playoffs, maybe even divisionals or whatever. They're a real good contender. Lamar Jackson's having a pretty good year. Everybody else on their squad is having a pretty good year. They only lost one game against Houston, and so that proves why Houston's a good team. But the Ravens, I think they're going to beat the Steelers. It's going to be a slaughter. I feel like the Steelers and Kenny Pickett is the worst quarterback in the league right now. He throws so many picks. But the Ravens' defense and offense is going to walk all over Pittsburgh in this game. I mean, look at this offense. They are doing great this year. If you have any of their players on fantasy on offense, I recommend you play them because they're having a monster year so far. Starting off our afternoon games, the Bengals and the Cardinals. And so the Bengals, like I said, they're a top three. They're the big three, and they suck. They suck. Even in the one win they have, they did not look good. Joe Burrow looks like a scared little kid out there. The offense, Jamar Chase is doing solid. I had to trade him away. I got Amon-Ra St. Brown because I just don't trust Jamar Chase no more. The offense is just miserable. The defense is doing solid enough, but they're just not doing anything. I mean, they only got 3 points last week. They only got 3 points in week 1. They held their own against the Ravens, but that was not Joe Burrow's fault. That was not Joe Burrow. The one win wasn't even Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is looking miserable this year. And it's just so depressing that the Cardinals, with Joshua Dobbs, who I think is a very good quarterback, their team has looked solid enough. They just can't catch a win. But I do not see them losing against this Bengals team. This Bengals team is terrible so far. Obviously, they always get back into it about week 5. But the way they've been playing, I do not see them losing against the Cardinals. So the Cardinals, with Joshua Dobbs, is going to walk all over them. The Philly Eagles and the Rams. The Rams are a team that I've said that I think they're going to be a good Super Bowl contender this year. And I still kind of stand by it. They had a good first half last week, and then they started going down. They looked like the team I said, but they still got the win with the overtime field goal. They lost the previous 2 weeks against the Bengals as one of them. They won week 1 against the Seahawks by good, but they look a bit rough this year. Just need to tweak up a few things, and I think you got a match here. I think this is a game. The Eagles are 4-0, but too many other games have been real close. It was pretty close with the Patriots. It was really close with the or the Redskins, or whatever you want me to call them. It was real close. Who did they even play in week 4? Yeah, that was the Commanders. Week 3, I meant. Because I know it was a real close game there, too. Well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't close against the Bucs. But it's been real close for them all year so far. And so they're playing the Rams, and the Rams are going to fight through. I do think the Eagles are going to win. The Eagles are going to be 5-0. But, I mean, it's against the Rams, and the Rams, I think, are going to hold up a pretty big fight. Jalen Hurts having a good season. A.J. Brown having a great season. Devontae Smith having a pretty decent season. And so the Eagles are going to be 5-0. But it's going to be a match. This is going to be a game to watch. The New York Jets and the Denver Broncos. I do not know because the Denver Broncos, I don't know how to say this. Besides against Miami, their offenses look solid. Their defense has been abysmal. Their defense is abysmal. But their offenses look solid enough. Russell Wilson's having a solid season, kind of, besides the game against the Dolphins. But they're not the worst team that you could talk about. They just have bad luck. And so there's the Jets, on the other hand, who had one good game against the Chiefs. They say, oh, yeah, he ain't call hunting call. They didn't call hunting call. All you want. They did, but they still lost because their offense really was slacking in the last half of the game. And so against the Broncos, even though I think that the Broncos can be solid enough, I do think that the Jets are going to win this one. The Jets are going to take this one and run and be 2-3. Kind of sucks for them because they are a good team, but then they lost Aaron Rodgers, and now they have to have Zach Wilson. And Zach Wilson just ain't it. And so the Jets and the Broncos, I do think the Jets are going to win this one. I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos do, though. Kansas City, baby, versus the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings, let's fight. Not Vikings. Chiefs, let's fight. Red Kingdom, baby. We are going to go to 4-1. The Vikings, they looked like a solid team. They started 0-3, but they're still a solid team. They lost against they didn't lose, but they got their first win against the Panthers, and they only looked good in the second half. Meanwhile, they're playing my Chiefs team, which is the team to beat in the league. Not because of the flanks. I'm really tired of you guys saying that. But because they are a great team. Mahomes, Pacheco, all their wide receivers, their defense is all really solid, and I think they're going to shut out the Minnesota Vikings this week. And officially, Mahomes will become the fastest quarterback to beat all 30 teams. And I'm very, very excited to say that because I've been a Chiefs fan for so long. I was a fan before Mahomes come, so don't even say, oh, you're only a Chiefs fan because they won the Super Bowl and then you decided to hop the bandwagon like everybody else did. That's not the truth. The truth is that I love the Chiefs, and I have for so long, and I'm really excited that Mahomes will become the fastest QB to do that. They will beat the Vikings. This will be another match to watch. Ending it off with Sunday night and Monday night football. Sunday night, the Cowboys and the Niners. Niners are 4-0. They have looked unstoppable this year. McCaffrey is having a freaking awesome season. I'm trying to get him. I even offered Tyreek Hill for Christian McCaffrey. It's still not working. Still not working because Christian McCaffrey is that good. The Niners, their offense is just looking great. Brock Purdy is great. He has only won one game. Has not lost a regular season game. I think this team's going undefeated all season. I really do. This will be one of their first real big tough matchups against the Cowboys and their tough D. But their offense this year, I really think it's the defense that's carrying that squad, right? It's not even really the offense. And so I do think that the Niners are going to pretty much walk all over the Cowboys this week. Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, who I just recently got, Christian McCaffrey. They're going to walk all over this defense. And I'm really nervous because I got the defense playing and I really need them to do good. But they're definitely going to have a good week this week. And this is going to be a great Sunday night matchup. The Packers and the Raiders, our final game for the week. The Pack Attack. I am going Packers. They are definitely a second half team. The first half, all of their games does not look good. Even last week against the Lions, where Jordan Love absolutely sucked. This week, and then in the second half, he started doing good. This week, they're playing the Raiders, and the Raiders, they lost Jimmy G last week. He was injured, and their backup QB did solid enough in the second half, almost caught up to the Chargers. But, I mean, it's the Packers. It's the Packers against the Raiders squad, who is pretty much rebuilding. They got Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. Wait, do they have Jacoby Myers? Yeah, they got Jacoby Myers. I got that confused. It's not the Patriots who have him. And Jacoby Myers. And their QB problem is a real problem here. Their offense is not all that great. If they had a good QB, they would be unstoppable. I think if Derek Carr stayed on the team, they would be unstoppable, but he really wanted to trade. Meanwhile, the Packers, even though they've had a rough week last week, I think they'll bounce back here and become the 3-2 because it's the Packers and they're a pretty good team. Thank you all for clicking on this video. This is my Week 5 predictions. I want to know what your Week 5 predictions. And what's your record through the rest of the year? I will let you know my record in the next video, maybe, if I can figure it out. It's been a rough couple of weeks. On my main channel, I am going to upload this one on my second channel, More ZMC. On my main channel, I have Saul X review coming up next week, creator review, Saul ranking. I'm going to start my Halloween special, so excited, and how I'm going to do that is I'm going to start reviewing all of the Saw movies. That's going to be something fun. There's so many cool things coming up, and thank you guys for clicking on this video. With that said, subscribe, join the Nerd Army. Peace out.